Hey, it's Rich, the Louisiana hobby guy. And you know, after the last recipe that I did, the breezy beefy mac and cheese on some cedar wood, I got a lot of response to that because I announced that I was going to share my wife's uh, famous meatball recipe that she got from a then 90-year-old woman from Sicily, now 94, about 4 years ago, and she's changed it up several times. The recipe was great to begin with, but she's made it just so much better. And like I said in my last video, she is from the Philippines and they do know how to cook. I know there was one viewer out there that was watching my last video when I said that, and his wife didn't know how to cook. She was from the Philippines. Sorry about that. Anyway, I thought you would want to join me today on this recipe, the Evelyn's famous meatballs. So we're going to jump right straight over into Lightburn and get started with this video. Oh, by the way, I always say that, but I never do it, right? After last Saturday night's live stream on the Laser Makers realm, we did some games, and I did a tic-tac-toe board, which I really like, and I think it's a fun game. Yes, it's unsolvable, but it's a game of concentration. So if you can take the other person's concentration away, you can win the game. But my brother even said tonight, "Oh, I don't want to play it because it's unsolvable." Well, I happen to like playing it, and I made this on the Laser Makers realm. This is Tic-Tac-Toe 4. This is actually 2 layers, as you can see there. I found some nice oak that I had laying around. I put my little logo on the back and with my signature and the date, and these are the actual pieces for it. They're double-sided. This is all three. Let's see, this one is 5mm wood, the coins, and this one is 3.5mm. Both of them are oak, and just has a great sound to it too. Listen. I mean, it's what I consider the perfect quick fun game that you can play over and over and over again. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that I've been doing some more. I'm doing some giveaways for people. This has not gone to the finish booth yet, but it will. The flat packs are going out to those people that were watching, by the way. So let's jump over into Lightburn real quick and take a look at what we've got over here. So I've already started on this. I've brought in my graphics. This one over here is I got from a coloring book that has no copyright, so that's great. We have the little Italian chef. This one over here I've just started to make, and all I've done so far is I made a circle and cut it in half. I think pretty much everybody knows how to do that now, and I've put some text in here and aligned it up somewhat. Now the only thing I'm going to do is a little work on this one here. So I'm going to select that that text. I'm going to go to Tools, and we're going to deform in 16 points. And what I want to do here is I want to make it a little more 3D. So I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to grab this spot right here. And I'm holding Shift because I want to do these together. So I'm going to shift this up. That way both of these get grabbed at the same time. And then I'm going to shift this one down like that to give it a little bit of 3D look. And I think that looks pretty cool like that. Yeah, that looks pretty good right there. So now I'll go back to the selector tool. Keep in mind that once you've done this, it's no longer text. So you can't edit the text. Make sure you get the text right the first time. I'm just going to scale this up just a little bit like that. And then I'm going to hold Shift. I'm sorry, did the wrong thing there. I'm going to hold Control, and I'm going to scale it in from the sides. I want it to be a little bit bigger, but not too much. And I think that looks pretty good. The only thing I would probably want to do is put some accents in there. I just have something over here that I kind of like. This little thing right here. They're made with love. So we're going to use this. And this is going to get scaled down pretty small, by the way. So hopefully this laser will be capable of that. And I think I'll put one there. And I'm going to, with that selected, I'm going to select the word Meatballs. And I'm going to come up here and align them on the vertical centers. So that way I know that that's perfectly centered. I already did that with the other two words here. So now I'll just grab that, hit Control and the letter D, and with my arrow key I'm just going to run this up to the top like that and get it about the same distance from the circle. That looks a lot better. So now I've got my logo that I'm going to put in here, and if I drag from right to left, that selects everything that it touches. So we've got the whole thing selected now. I'm going to hold Control, grab a corner, and scale this down. And here is my template over here. And what I've done is I've gone from this board right here, and I've taken these measurements and I've transferred them to that template that you see right there. So that's 140 wide and 210 high. So I can keep these uniform because we're going to hang these up in the kitchen. So now I'm going to take this and drag it over to somewhere over here and scale it to proportion. And I think we should maybe come down to about that size right there. That should be good right there. And you know, you can make your own graphics for this. And then I think I want the chef to sort of balance it out down here in the bottom corner. So what I need to do is take a look at this one. This is 45 wide, 42 high. I'm going to use the height measurement, 42. I'm going to come to this guy and I'm going to make him 42 high, but I have to lock this first. Let me do that. Now I can do 42 high, and we have that one up in the top corner, and we'll put this one down in the bottom corner like that. I think that looks good. I don't know, you guys can tell me if it does or if it doesn't. We're going to find out how this burns on the wood in a minute. So by the way, I'm changing my view by rolling my mouse wheel out. So here is the actual recipe here that it's from her recipe book, and I'll press the period key now to turn it to the right. And this is a high resolution photograph that I took. It should trace very well. If yours isn't high resolution, put your camera into the highest resolution that you can. And now I'm going to right click on this and go to trace image like that. And here we can see what we've got. Now I don't want all of the noise on the outside. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that. I'm going to find the corner right here. I'm going to click and drag over this entire thing, and I'll have to zoom out a little bit to be able to drag it some more. And that right there is probably all that I want. I'm just going to drag one of these corners, and that is what I want right there. So I'm not too worried about this stuff on the side. I'm just going to go up a little bit more to get that bracket in there. The noise I'll fix afterwards. So now I'm going to take a look around and see if everything looks like it's going to trace properly, and this was a good enough picture. It appears that it will trace pretty good. I'm going to have to fix that right there. I got to figure out what it is first. But all of this looks pretty good. If this wasn't good, I would start moving this threshold over here. And what you can do is click the button that says fade image if you want to see it better. I usually don't do that because I think I can see it better with text without fading the image. So I don't know, what do you think? Either way, it makes no difference. So I'm pressing down on my mouse wheel to move this around, by the way. All of this looks pretty good. I don't have to change the threshold at all. If you need to change things in the threshold, you can go back and look at the last recipe that I did, which was the breezy beefy mac and cheese, and that one shows you how to do multiple traces. So I'm going to say okay to that, and there it is right there. That really came out good. I like that. So high resolution picture is important. Now I'm going to come to the top and ungroup this because we need to work on it a little bit. And down here I'm going to drag from right to left and delete that. I'm going to drag on this one and delete it, and I'm going to zoom in so I can see what I'm doing here, and just drag up over all of this right here. And we're just going to keep doing this until we've got everything that we want out of the trace, and that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I want the handwriting part over here. So I'm going to drag over this. I'm going to select it. And I'm going to move it off. And you see I got the eye there by mistake. So I'm going to put that eye back. I shouldn't have got that. I'm going to put that back on top of the mix where it belongs. So now I have Evelyn's Meatballs. And this, the reason why I'm doing this is because I put that logo in there. So I have that Evelyn's Famous Meatballs over there. But I also want her handwritten version of this. So I'm going to bring this in and just bring it down to size like that. And there is almost the size of the wood. I'm just going to size it a little more, get it closer to the edge like that. And then with that selected, I want to align it to this one over here. So I'm going to drag over this one, holding down shift, and come up here, and I'm going to align these on their horizontal. Oh, that wasn't grouped. You got to make sure this stuff is grouped before you start doing that. So let's see. I'm hitting that outside line. Hang on. I will get this right in 1 second. Here we go. Now I got it right. We're going to group that. So now this one is not grouped. So we're going to do the same here. We're going to group this. With this one selected now that we have them both grouped, I'm going to select this one by holding shift and dragging over it. And now we can come up here and align them on their horizontal centers. So they're perfectly even. Alright, so we've got the title done, we've got the graphics done. Now we need this recipe. And this recipe will be available, by the way, in a Microsoft Word document as well as a text document in the download so that you can print it out legibly. So now I've got to take all of this and sort of shrink this down to size. Bring it over here so I know what I'm working with. Get it up in here and start shrinking it by the corners. And there, we're pretty close here. So we're going to bring this up. Now we're going to do some more editing. So, you know, this is not absolute at this minute. So there we go. That would fit it perfectly just like that. And then of course we wouldn't want it up there. We'd want to, with the arrow keys, move it down into the middle. Something like that maybe. But I haven't done any editing yet. So remember now, this is all ungrouped here. So now I'm going to go through and read it and do some editing. And the editing is very simple. If I need to do something here, for instance, TBSP is tablespoon. If I see something that doesn't have the right abbreviation, I can grab letters from somewhere else. I'll just give you a quick example of that. So let's say that over here in the sauce, 1 quart, let's say we needed a quart of this, whatever that is. I would just drag over this, press Control and the letter D, and I would duplicate that 1 quart and move it to wherever I want it. And I can shrink it or make it larger. Actually, here's something. So this says or more, and the bracket is, my wife is very bad with these brackets. So let's fix this bracket real quick. I'm going to select that bracket, come over here to the left side to node edit. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to come over here, zoom way in. I'm going to drag over all of these nodes here. And then I'm going to bring this down to about there. Then I'm going to drag over these, bring these down a little bit. Nope, we've got to get one more over here. Drag over there. Something like that. And then let me put this, change my window view to wireframe so I can see better. And I'm just going to move this node a little bit and try and, I'm going to actually delete some of these. I'm going to drag over those, press the D key to delete them. Then I'm going to move this one to the middle, and now I can smooth this out a little more like that. And I can actually delete a few more in there too. You can delete lots of these, so as many as you want. So that's looking a lot better the way it is, and we can actually delete some more in here and some more in here, and just move one of these out here, or I just actually grab that handle and move the handle out. and that looks more like a bracket to me. So that or is okay, the more is not. So we're gonna fix that more. The MOR is what we're looking for. And in the last video, man, I just went over I missed cup like a bunch of times, but I'm gonna look in here for MOR, and this might even be a hard one to find, but here's one right here. So I'm gonna drag over this M. Let me select the M. I'm in Node Edit. I'm gonna select the M, press Control and the letter D to duplicate it, and then I'm gonna come back down to that or more, way down here, zoom back in. I'm gonna get rid of these right here, so let's delete those and start with these or, and we need M and then O and then R. So we need an O. There's O's all over the place. We've got to duplicate one, bring the O, and let me delete that because I did that wrong. I have to duplicate both of these layers. Control and the letter D, bring the O over here, hold Control to get it exactly where I want. Is this R? Yeah, look at that. Control and the letter D, and we have more. So now let's just move these over just a little bit, and let's move the R down a little bit, move these over just a bit more like that, and now I think we have or more. Looks a lot better, and it is her handwriting, so it's all good like that. So let me go back to Window and Filled Course so that I can see this better and make sure everything looks right, and it does. I think this I is in the wrong place. So let's move this I over above the I like that, and this I may be in the wrong place as well. So I'm just going to zoom in and hold Control and move it to where I want it to be right there. This one is just noise. We'll get rid of that, and I think the rest of this looks pretty good. Now you can keep editing here. You see how this 8, let me go back into the wireframe. See how this 8 doesn't look right? You can come in here and edit this and make it look better, and go into Node Edit again like that, and just drag over a couple of these, hit the D key to delete them, and that should be pretty close to good. Now that should look a lot better if we come back in here. Yeah, it does. Now that looks a lot more like the number 8, and I think we've got almost everything here. I'm just going to go around and clean up some noise, and we should be almost ready to burn. See, these things, she's really off on her dotted I's. Look how far off this one is. Okay, and the minced over here, we're going to get that in the right spot. And now I think that bracket is actually okay, just the way it is. And I think, here's another eye up here. Wow, I don't know why she's so far off with her eyes. Maybe it's just me. Everything else I think looks okay the way it is. And hey, you know what? This was a really easy one. So I think we got what we want now. So now, just so I don't make any mistakes with this size, I'm going to select all of this, drag it off to make sure. See, I didn't get it all. That's why I dragged it off. I'm going to get it all, dragging left to right, and drag it off again. Now I got it all, and I can just hit undo. And now we can see, yep, it fits perfectly in there. Let's group it together. Let's hold down Shift, drag over the outside box, and let's get this to the center and see how that looks. That doesn't look good, so we have to do this by eye. So we're just going to use the mouse there. I think looks pretty good. And I think what I want to do is I want to get an idea, because I usually can't see this very well. So I came over and clicked on the ruler, and I'm just going to pass my mouse up here, click, drag down to here, and that's about 47 millimeters. And I'm going to check from here to here, and that's 31. I think I'm happy with that. Pretty sure this is going to come out good. You know what I might do? I think I might bring in one more little graphic over here. Oh, I don't have it in here. I'm just going to bring in a line like that. And I'm going to press my period key. Maybe to balance this out a little bit. I don't know. No. Let me press my comma key. Maybe I want to put this in the bottom down here and shrink it down a little bit. What do you guys think? Decisions. I think I'm gonna do that. Now the bottom of this graphic is about the same as that one. What we can do is just click on it. We want to align this one to the bottom of this one, so we'll do that up here like that. And I think I'm happy with that. So I am ready to burn this recipe. Now I would like to, I'm not quite sure if I like the way this is over here. Maybe what I'll do is separate out the ingredients and the red sauce. So up here is the ingredients for the meatball, down here is the red sauce. I think I'll leave the red sauce there, and I'm going to ungroup this again. I'm going to drag over the ingredients like that, and I think I'm going to make the ingredients a little bit larger like that. And now I'll drag over this group down here. I can't get to the top of that one. Okay, we'll drag over that group and bring it down just a little bit to there. Separate them out just a hair. Let's come back to this one. I don't know if I have it all selected. I don't. Got to do it again. I always check to see if I have it all selected by moving it out of place and then hit the undo button. So now let's see if we bring this down. Let's bring this over and down just a little bit. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good like that. So, and I think what I want to do too is I want to change this one. That's too much. Let me zoom in so I can make sure I get it all right. Nope. Just want that. And that's good, so I'll do undo. And I think what I want to do here is just make this a little bit bigger like that. And that looks, I think that looks better. I don't know, you guys can do whatever you want, but I just made that a little bit bigger because it's sort of like a divider there. And maybe I should put another divider in. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put another divider in. I'm gonna bring this back down like that, and I'm gonna take this guy and put it in the middle and shrink it down. Oh, the heart went upside down. There we go. So now we have like a divider in the middle here. So I'm gonna align that with the framing template I've got there, and maybe just move it up a hair. And I think that's a winner right there. I'm not liking this graphic down here, so I'm gonna get rid of that and just gonna move this one. You're watching this in real time, by the way. This is a one-take video, so this is all real time, and you should expect that you're gonna spend about the same amount of time. Now, what I like to do to space things out is look at these boxes on the corner. See this one and this one? And what's the distance between the two? And then I can, with my mouse and the control button, get it about the same distance between. Then I'll hold control and maybe make this just a little bit bigger, like that. And I think that's good. There it is. That's going to be our entire workpiece right here. So now I'm going to change this to a cut layer, and I have already positioned my material 50 millimeters from the edge over here. You see these boxes here are 10 millimeter squares, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I know exactly where it is on the laser. If we take a look at the laser, you'll see that I've already put a nice piece of dark oak down on there, and I put it 50 millimeters from the left side. So what we're going to do now is basically just set our layers here. So I'm going to go to my library, and I think these are probably already set because I just finished those coins for the tic-tac-toe. So I've got engraved graphic. I'm going to take the engraved graphic and assign it to this black layer, and that did change. That went to 24. So okay, I don't know what it was before. And then I'm going to click on the red layer, and do I have 3.5 millimeter or 5 millimeter in there? I have the 5 millimeter in there. So I'm going to assign this to that layer, and I think what I'll do is just we'll see if it cuts. Yeah, that might be the 3. I don't know what it is in there. Let's just reduce it to 400, the speed, just to be safe. So 400, 100, and 20,000 and 24, and I think that should be good. Now, if you're wondering why I've got it spaced so far away from the side, it's because there is overscanning going on here with this graphic. So this graphic has to be 13.3 millimeters away from that corner. Well, I have a 50 millimeter spacer, so it was just easier to drop that in and align it that way. So now I know it's aligned. If we go back to the laser and take a frame on this and see what happens, let's do that. Well, you'll see I am off by just a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is press Control and the letter A, and that selects everything. And I'm just going to scoot it over by 10 millimeters, and we'll do one more frame and see what happens. And we're pretty close there. All right, so we're ready, and I'm ready to just hit the start button, and hopefully this is going to come out good because we're doing this live. All right, so here we go. And I will speed this up. This will probably only take about, in YouTube time, it'll probably only take about 1 minute and 45 seconds, or maybe even less. Maybe I'll speed it up twice. I don't know. But I'm going to speed this up now, and then we'll take a look at the final results of this. All right, we're down to the last few seconds now. It's just finishing up the cut. And we'll see what we got. I'm hoping that I got that cut number right. Well, I was pretty close. All right. Wasn't absolutely perfect on that. I wanted to take it out and put it back and run another line pass, but I guess we're not going to do that. Let's do this the right way. This side over here did not cut all the way through, it looks like, and I think I know why. There we go. So I did not do the library for this yet. Let me change cameras because this camera is not going to pick it up well. So what I should have done, I mean, there's no real damage to the board. It came out okay. But what I should have done is I should have done my library setting first for this, for the cut. I just took a guess at it, setting it at 400, 100, and I'd never done this 5mm piece. This was a different batch of wood from the other 5mm that I did, so I never did save those settings. I don't remember what they were, but I guess I have to go maybe 380 and 100. But here is the final product. You can see the graphics came out really nice. The text is very legible. So what I wanted to do and what I would have done, I would have come back into Lightburn and put all of this into line instead of fill, and ran another pass afterwards. Had I been able to just pick it up out of the wood and, you know, look at it and say, no, I want to change it to line, then I would have been able to put it right back in and run a second pass in line instead of fill. But I still think, hey, that's pretty good for a dark oak. What do you think? So there's the whole recipe. This is the dark oak meatballs on oak. And this is the Breezy Mac. Both of them are the same size. And side by side, you can see that obviously the cedar comes out much nicer because it's a white wood, but still I think this came out great. So the idea of this video was not to show you a final product, it was to show you how to do it. So if I did this one again now, this is what I would do. Let's jump back to Lightburn real quick. So now what I would do is, first off, I would turn off the red, saying that we were able to put it right back in the same slot. And then I would change the black layer, all of this, to line instead. And now what I would do is I would come in here and grab these, put them on a tool path, the two graphics, because they came out perfect. So I would put those two on a tool path and then adjust my speed and my power. I would probably put this down to about 12,000. I'm not going to change it right now, but I would put it down to 12,000 and maybe 30% power, and then just run the job again. And then it would give it a nice defined line on the outside of all these letters here. And what I might even do further was, in this final product that I've got here, if we take a look at that again, if you look at the meatballs, that little accent that I put at the bottom came out okay, but it's not perfect. So I would ungroup this and take that accent and put it back on the black layer, so that now, and I've got one more up here, so now I would rerun the job in line mode, and I think this would come out fantastic. So if I had the right setting and it cut out perfectly, I would have been able to lift it right out, look at it, and say, yeah, I will make some changes, put it back in. I should have just left it on the bed until I was finished here, and then worried about getting it out. But there you go. That's the whole video. Now, if you want to get this recipe, I'm going to have this recipe down below the video. So this is the, what is this? The 4th edition of recipes on wood. The first two I did a while back, about a year or more ago, that are in the playlist. So if you go to my channel and click on playlists, go to recipes on wood. This will be the 4th recipe in the playlist, and there's going to be even more coming up. So down below the video, click on that little ... more to show the description, and there'll be a link to a zip file where you can download this project with the graphics that I have here. You can change them to whatever you want. I'll take the Evelyn's Famous out of Meatballs, and you can put whatever you want on top of there, or you can leave it because it is Evelyn's Famous Meatballs. But I will put an art library as well as SVG files in that zip package, so you can run this job yourself. If you have Lightburn, just go to your art library, click load the file, and you'll be ready to go. Set your speeds and powers, obviously. You know, you have to know your speed and power. And if you don't use Lightburn, there'll be SVG files as well. You can bring in those 3 different SVG files and work from there. So that's it, folks. I am now actually in Illinois. This video is being scheduled. So I am in Illinois, and we will be live streaming tomorrow, I think. So I'm not sure of the date yet, but I think maybe Friday and Saturday we'll be live streaming from the Laser Makers Realm and from Peoria, Illinois at the Lightburn convention at LBX. I hope you can join us. Go to YouTube and search, I'll put a link in the description below, the Laser Makers Realm. It's me, myself, Patrick from Light Source Engraving, and Steve Hobo with Wood. The 3 of us will be in Illinois yesterday, today, tomorrow, the next day, and then we'll be heading back. This video is being scheduled so that we have regular videos coming up. So tomorrow, look forward to that live stream. Maybe it's today, I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to schedule this video yet, but we will be live streaming Friday and Saturday and maybe even Sunday from the Laser Makers Realm. So you definitely want to check that out and look for those videos in your feed, your YouTube feed. So I hope you enjoyed the video today on the 4th edition of Recipes on Wood. And there is Evelyn's famous meatballs. So I hope you enjoyed this video today as much as I enjoyed making it. I really enjoyed making this today. I think I'm going to run this job one more time on another piece of wood with the right settings, and I'm going to put line after fill on the black layer so that it'll do the fill and then it'll come back and do the line. And because this is such a long recipe on such a small piece of wood, I think I need to have that on this dark oak. So that's it for today. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, or maybe I'll see you live tomorrow, today, whatever. Bye, everybody. See you in the next one.
Lucky I'm alive with you by my side. Yeah, feeling so right with the love on a find. Ride or die, running loyalty, you got in those veins. You be thinking about me 24/7, 365 every day. More than I'm feeling, I can verify that. Check mark for whatever your wishes might commit. We can go to wherever, nothing really matters as long as we're together.